Welcome to Thriving Through, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on the world of independent consulting and shows you exactly what you need to do to build a successful consulting practice. I'm AJ, I'm your host, and each week I dive deep into the real life stories of self-employed consultants who have transformed their expertise into thriving businesses. Now, this isn't about glossy success stories or overnight miracles. This is about the grit, the strategies, and the resilience it takes to build a consulting practice that is not only financially rewarding, but also personally fulfilling. From navigating the feast or famine cycle to landing dream clients, from managing the unique challenges of entrepreneurship to creating systems that support your business, I'm covering it all. Each episode features a candid conversation with consultants who've been where you are. We share their stories, their insights, and the hard-earned lessons that transform their business into a thriving practice. So whether you're just starting out, looking to level up as a consultant, or wanting to reignite your passion for consulting, this podcast is for you. It's your weekly dose of inspiration, insight, and strategies that will pump you up and motivate you for the rest of the week. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and get ready to learn, get inspired, and most importantly, to thrive. On today's Thriving Through podcast, I am talking with Latifa Mwanza, who is based in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and she will tell you more about her consulting practice. Welcome, Latifa. It's so great to see you.
Thank you, AJ.
So tell me a little bit about your path to becoming a self-employed consultant.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. So a few years ago, I would say 10 years ago, I was planning on going back to school for my master's degree. And I didn't know what to go and study, basically. So something very significant happened. I used to file taxes with a man, and one time I got a letter from the IRS. Basically, they said they could not process my document and they needed more verification. So I called this man and he didn't pick up my calls. I was frustrated. So I ended up calling the IRS myself to, tell them that I got a letter, and they told me that there was an income that was not provided. And that's why, basically they were not, my credentials was not complete. So I applied with the company, but I didn't work there. So I don't know what happened, whether they still had me on their payroll or they reported it. But I reached out to them and I got a letter saying that I no longer work there. I sent it to the IRS and they processed my return. And unfortunately, I have introduced a few other people to this man and they all had complaints. So I decided, okay, I'm going to start filing taxes. So I reached out to my mentor and I got under his team. He explained to me how to get a professional tax pin and how to do the exams and things like that. So I started learning how to file taxes. So I wasn't a business owner. I just filed taxes and I still worked a full-time job. But a few years later, I said, So that year, I started my first master's degree in informatics. It's database in healthcare. And after I finished, I said, I'm going to go back for my MBA. So when I started my MBA was when I went solo. So I started doing my own taxes and eventually I opened my business. So since then, I help people to start a business, help you to know whether to go for S corporation, partnership, or to go for an LLC. The difference in it and how it will serve you based on your business. I assist people to, of course, do bookkeeping, consultation to do your taxes at the end of the year, and also to build your business if you need to. And a majority of my clients where they're trying to start a business, but they have a really low credit score. I do consultation on how to build that so that you can use it to leverage your business. So that's how I became a consultant.
Okay. It
Yes.
sounds like that experience with the tax guy,
Yes.
your ghost tax person, that was a defining moment for
Yes.
you
Yes.
when
I
you,
realized that a lot of people were
yeah.
ghosts. They're not credentialed, and people are not, unfortunately, not aware that there are so many frauds out there, I would say. And they end up having a bad experience. So that was the instigator of my business.
And when you were getting your MBA, were you also working?
I was
That's
doing
when you
accounting
were,
courses. Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Yeah, I started doing accounting courses and all that stuff. So that helped me to be able to do bookkeeping and, of course, also to do taxes.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned it a little bit when you were just talking about your business, but specifically, what problems are you looking to solve for your clients?
Right. So I've met quite a few arrays of clients. I have um, from independent contractors to business owners that have cost of goods sold. So the major problem that I realized is a lot of people don't know whether they're making money. They don't understand cash flow. So what they do is I'm selling something. People are buying from me. I have inventory, but am I actually making money? And this is because their books are not done correctly. They don't know where they don't do their bookkeeping. Because what bookkeeping does is it allows you to know your income and of course your expenses. And when you know the amount that you have after your expenses, do you actually have money left? So that's what I usually come across a lot. I have a business, I'm making money, I don't know what's going on. Can you help me? I haven't filed my taxes for a few years. It's messy. So that's when I go to, do your books for you. And quite a few times I have seen that some people actually don't make money. They're putting their all in that business and there's a lot of transactions, but there's no gain in that manner. So the question then becomes, what do you do moving forward, right? So we have to then strategize and do you have to stop? Because sometimes it depends. So an example is someone that sells jewelries and clothes. With the jewelries, there's just a couple of bucks. The clothes may be a little bit more. Now, do you want to drop the jewelries or just a little bit of it? Because it's just a buffer. It's not making any money. And sell more of clothes, if that makes sense. So it's about strategizing to know what actually helps. And sometimes it depends. So another example is someone that utilizes the USPS to send their mail. Could you use Shopify? That will be cheaper for shipping. So that way you can actually make more money. So depending on the person's business needs, we can then talk about how to actually increase their gains. So that way they can make money from the business.
So it sounds like you start to work with them to solve the problem of them not really understanding their cash flow, not
Yes.
understanding their financials. And then as you start to work closely with them,
Yes.
then you become a trusted advisor.
That is correct.
Nice.
That's
What
correct.
are the major things your clients need you for? Obviously, taxes,
Yeah.
cash flow. What
Yes.
else? What other needs do
Um,
you meet?
do I mean? I think I create a lot of values, right? So for me, it's about understanding your dynamic. So I have a lot of people that calls me throughout the years where they want to register for life insurance and they'll say, which one do you think I should, register for? This person told me this, what do you think? And most often I know about IUL, I know about life insurance, and I will then go in depth about make your research, right? That might not be a good option for you, for your business, for your life in general and things like that. Okay. So this is an example. I know for life insurance, one thing that I've realized, okay, with the IUL or with life insurance, sometimes it helps. So for tax strategy, There are things that you can do to reduce the tax liability for sure. There's some things that are not legal, there's some things that are legal. And part of what I do is how to reduce your tax liability as a business owner. Do you need to have an insurance for your work? Do you need to register for a 401k for your, I mean, for your staffs and things like that? There are different strategies that you can. Does your car, so this is a good example. I had someone come to me about 3 years ago. He's not a new business owner, but he's been there fairly new, right? So he brought me his books. This person he just got two cars for his business. Okay, they're actually bosses. He didn't put it in there. So I asked questions and I said, okay, do you have any expenses for your business? Do you have a boss? Do you pay people that are not full-time employees? Do you pay professionals? Do you have an attorney that advises you? And he said, yes, I do. And he didn't know that they were all tax write-off because you've consulted them for your business, correct? So that is once I provide that value, you often see that they come to me every time they want to make a huge decision, even to the smallest one in their business, and say, do you think I should go by this or not? So that is how I provide um services to my clients. I provide them advice all through the year. Does
And
that answer your question?
yes, it does.
Yes.
Do you feel like your clients value your expertise? I mean, do you have any problem charging what you want to charge for your sort of your advising
Business.
business?
No, I don't think they understand the value. And I think that I charge what it's worth based on where you are at your business. Because remember, someone that has a high revenue, what their needs will be different from someone that is just starting up. So in that manner, what I do is I charge you based off of where you are at your business and how we can grow together. And of course, as we grow, the fee would increase because then I have to do more things for you. But I'm very understanding when it comes to small businesses, when it comes to the charges. And yes, they understand my value because sometimes they've often gone to other people for advice and they're like, the person isn't telling me what I want to hear. They're being vague. They can't really tell me what the problem is and how they can help me. So when I point out what the problem is and what I think they should do, they'll be like, you know what you're doing. How can you help me? So in that manner, they're willing to pay whatever it's worth all the time. I've never met anyone that,
Okay,
because I'm very reasonable when it comes to prices, like I said it earlier, based on where you are.
got it.
Yes.
Now I want to focus a little bit on challenges.
Yes.
Tell me a story or two about the challenges you faced building your practice and how you've overcome them.
Okay. When I first started my business, it's about awareness. I didn't know how to go about it. Um, so a lot of times you have referrals, people that you've provided wonderful services to, and they come and say, hey, I have this person. Referral is good, social media awareness. But I was never a social media person. I am shy when it comes to putting my face out there. One thing that helped with that is when I was in school, we did a lot of executive speaking. And it helped me a lot. I didn't know at that point. So when I started my social media, I'm like, oh my God, I have to make videos. What am I going to say? That was one of my challenges. And I realized how good I was when I did it. And they're like, oh no, you don't look like someone who's just facing the camera for the first time. You look quite comfortable. And I said, oh yeah, we used to do it in school. So that was for one of my challenges, creating awareness, getting my social media out there. And additionally, I wasn't focused when it comes to timing. I have clients that would text me at 10 p.m. at night. Oh, I just remembered something. Can you do this? So it's about letting them know I work at this time. Text me, but I'll respond to you in the morning rather than calling me throughout the hours because it was overwhelming. And I had to designate. I had to get a social media manager. I had to get two more people in my firm. Now we have about 5 people in my firm right now. But prior to that, the more clients come, the more overwhelming it becomes. And I wanted to make sure that I am the first person my client sees when they come to me. I am the one that understands what they're going through and actually do as much as I can by myself. And I still do that till today. So finding a way to go around that, where I am the focus of my clients and providing the value without necessarily designating it. Because remember, once you designate it, once you trust your staff's wonderful, but sometimes you're the one who knows what your client needs. So I struggled with that for a while, and eventually I got over it.
So you are the face that your clients see.
Yes.
And it sounds like you delegate some of the other stuff. Like, tell me a little bit about your social media and using a social media manager. Is it
Yes.
somebody who's an employee, or are you using an agency, or
I'm using an
tell
agency.
me?
I'm
Okay.
using an agency, yes. Before I started using an agency, I used to do it myself. I know how to edit and things like that. But I decided to designate, like I said it earlier, I had a social media manager. He's a contractor and he does all the work. Well, awesome. I have someone else that does my SEO. I just started designating, like I said it earlier. And regarding the actual answer, I do most of it. Now with the bookkeeping, sometimes I have my staff go there and categorize. But the first categorization, because I am the one who interviewed my client, I know exactly what they want and how their business works. So I go in there and do the first job. And after a while, if anything changes, we have criteria. That's what it's called for project management. You put a criteria for that business owner. So if there's any discrepancy, they can tell. And I can tell as well. So I go in every month to do a review regarding, especially when it comes to reconciliation. I go there and take a look at it by myself to ensure that it's good. But the first month, I'm the one who goes there to deal with it. Once you categorize it, because this is how bookkeeping works. Once you categorize it and tells it what to do, most often it follows it. But sometimes, it's a computer. It still needs you to go in there to confirm some transactions, especially if it's something that is unusual. So in that manner, I will then go there and fix it. But that is how I go, that is how I do as much hands-on as I can. But I started designating some certain things. That is not necessarily my personal business, if that makes sense.
Now, thinking back,
Yes.
what one thing would you do differently?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
No. I would say nothing because as a business owner, you have to go through those certain steps to be where you are. If you don't go through the process, you would not arrive at where you are. Nobody is just woke up and learn something. You learn as you go. And for me, I'm a critical thinker. My first bachelor's degree was in philosophy. So I learned to weigh my options before taking actions. That's just something that I do all the time. So I will take the action and go with the one that has the less risks for myself and for my clients. So a lot of times we go through a better route. Now, it does not mean that a better option doesn't come up, on the long run. But I would often then say, okay, I think there's another option. Do you want to go this way? This is better, you know. But everything that I am or where I am today is because of something that I have learned.
Mhm.
And now I need to work on not being, I'm so caring to myself and my client. I am very caring. If I know you have a problem, my first instinct is, how can I solve it for you? So I don't know if that is a bad thing to care for people so much. My clients love it. And sometimes it can be very, very exhausting. However, when I need a break, I always know. Like 4 months ago, me and my husband went to Dallas for almost a week. I did not do anything. And I told my clients, I'm not going to be available. Please do not text me or call me. I know when to rest. So that is one thing that I realized that I might want to change, but I don't want to.
You might want to change the balance of work and
Yes.
personal.
Yes.
But so what would you say Do you feel like you've got a good balance of personal to work?
Right now, no. No, I work more. And I think because because I have an home office. Because I have an home office, my husband saves me all the time. So he doesn't realize that I'm on my computer. But he's an understanding man. So he's like, just do you, babe. Yeah, I know you're working. So I work a lot. So I don't think that I'm weighing it, I would say. But I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a goal to get a little bit better balance.
Yes.
And it sounds like you've taken some steps because you are setting a boundary with your clients about responding to texts that come in after hours.
Yes.
So you're taking some steps.
Yes, some.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you a couple questions about sort of the day to day. What is your daily routine? Now I know you may not have a real daily routine, but what are the things that you do every single day?
All right. So it depends on what time of the year it is. If it's between January to April and all through the month of October, I am usually on my computer. So I wake up, get my coffee, and get on my computer. Now I catch up with my clients. If I have a question, I'll text them. I also have, avenues where we contact each other, right? So I would contact them via email, phone call, text message, and things like that. Now, out of this month that I have indicated, I do consultations for new clients. So my consultation hours are from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Anything outside of that, I don't do consultation for new clients. I focus on what I have at hand because that time is a little slow. At this point, it's mostly credit building and bookkeeping. So it's not tax. And of course, my full-time clients, I would say all through the year, they don't contact me every day. So it becomes a little slow. So that's when I do consultation. And then from about 3 to 5, when I have other things that I need to do, I do it. Like if I have tasks to, complete, get in touch with my staff to see what's going on, that's when I do it. And I stop my day by 7 p.m. So after 7, my clients still text me, but I'm not on my computer. I'm not in my office. Now, during tax season, I didn't sleep until 3 a.m. today. And I was awake at 7:30. I just got off the phone with a client like, oh my God, I have to be here. Can I call you back? So I cannot really, it's all over the place during January till April. End of January, most likely. Till the April 15th. It is busy.
So it's kind of a nature of the type of consulting you do that first couple months of the year are always going to be pretty heavy,
Yes.
pretty
Excuse me.
demanding
And
from a time standpoint.
yes. And because I'm a tax preparer, like I said it earlier, it's tax season. So I have my actual clients and I have new clients coming, referrals. Someone referred me. This is my problem. Da. I do consultations in between. But because of my amount of clients, sometimes I work till 3 a.m. Like I said, it's all over the place. Like right now I'm coughing, I'm a little stressed. So sorry about that.
No problem.
Right.
How do you split work? And it would, of course, vary by season. How do you split your work between running the business, client management, and sales and marketing? So there's sort of the three aspects of consulting. That's the challenge of three aspects is, running the business,
Right.
client work, and then sales and marketing. How do you split that or
Right.
manage to?
So sales and marketing alt from end of January till end of March. I do not do any sales because it's tax season. And of course, I do consulting and actual, my clients sending me the document taxes and all that stuff. And at this point, I'm reconciliating my bookkeeping for my bookkeeping clients to file their taxes. So I would say sometimes even throughout the month of December, there's no marketing and things like that. I still post social media, because I have a social media manager that handles that, but I do not look for new clients at that point. So any other time of the year, then yes. So during this time that I've stated, it's mostly just consultation for my new clients if anything has changed, referrals, and of course the hands-on of doing taxes.
Okay, so sales and marketing are a sort of an off season.
Yes.
And besides social media, well, what social media channels do you use?
I am on LinkedIn. I am on TikTok. I am on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel that I don't really run. And yeah, that's about it. And I believe I'm on X. But the ones that I manage the most is my Instagram. That's the one that I'm most active on. And my Facebook too. I have a Facebook account. Yes.
And do you do any work on the social media, or is it all your social media manager? Does he write the posts, or
Yeah,
what split
so
do you have?
I provide scripts for my social media manager. I make a video once a week for him and he edits it and all that stuff. And apart from that, it takes care of everything else. I just make the video. Whenever he does the scripts, and all that stuff, he sends it to me for review once a week, and that's it. So it takes care of everything else.
Okay,
Yes. Posting and all that stuff.
so what kind, besides the social media marketing,
Yes.
and you said Instagram and Facebook, do you do any other type of marketing?
Yes, I run ads. I run
Okay.
Meta ads, all those times of the year. During the time that I said it that I don't run ads, all the times that I'm running, it's Meta ads. Yes, I run ads
Okay.
on Monday and Tuesday, and then I do consultation on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you get people? I mean, obviously the ads are effective for you because you wouldn't continue to run them. Tell me a little bit more about your experience with advertising.
Right. So advertising is very technical. I would say you have to know what you're doing regarding meta ads. I've had to learn it along the way. So fortunately for me, I know how to run ads because I run ads for my clients as well. And, people just reach out to your inbox. The first rule is make sure that your social media platform has a lot of information. Like my Instagram, that's the one that has the most information. So when I run my ads, it's for them to send me a message on my Instagram. And most likely they'll go through your page to see what you have, if it's educative enough, and then they'll follow you. Some don't bother. They just reach out to you straight up and say, this is my problem. And then we book, there's something called inbox nurturing, where you have few questions for them to understand what they need, and then book a calendar so that you can have a consultation. So that's what I do all through those times.
Okay. And so the call to action on the ad is for them to message
Send me
you.
a message, yes, on Instagram.
Okay. Okay. And then from there, how much back and forth do you have with them conversation wise before you suggest a discovery
Mostly,
call?
it could be under a minute. It could be more. Some people, when you ask them a question, it might take them, maybe they're busy. It might take them a moment to respond. So the rule is respond within the first 30 seconds when somebody reaches out to you. That is why I'm strategic with my ads. I don't start my ads until I'm in my office. Because I know that once I start it, when people reach out to you, respond immediately. I do not do inbox nurturing automation because everyone's situation is different, right? I ask the first question, and then whatever you answer is what will determine what I'm going to ask you next. So most likely someone that is online within a minute, we can then book a call to discuss specifics. And the call can be
Okay.
between 30 minutes to an hour. I mostly say 30 minutes, but it ends up going to an hour. Yes.
Okay. From a focus standpoint, you don't run the ads until you get
To the
into
office.
your office, but then do you have certain hours because it'd probably be kind of impossible to get anything else done. If you're wanting to respond to them within 30 seconds of them messaging you, then you're constantly on message
Yes.
in your
Oh, yes.
messenger.
That is why I run ads only on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I have an hour. So when I start my ads around 8 a.m. on Monday, and I stop it at 5 p.m. So I'm on my computer, I'm doing other things, but when someone sends me, sometimes all day I'm responding to messages on Instagram, which is fine. And then I don't book my actual appointments. I close my calendar on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's only available on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So on those days that I'm doing consultations, my ads are off. So there's no new inquiry. Now, the part of those people that you've asked questions and it took them 24 hours to respond, that's okay. You're not going to get a response immediately. But regarding responding within few seconds of the first message is for the first inquiry. Now, if I send you a response or I ask you a question and you don't respond within 2 days, that's fine. Sometimes those happens, but it's not all throughout the day, unlike when the hat is active. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yep. It sounds like your marketing with the social media and the advertising are working effectively
Yes.
for you.
Yes, that's the only way.
So are you happy? You're happy with the number of leads that you generate?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sometimes with social media leads, a day I could get 10 to 20 people reach out to me. It depends on your ad spend and the quality of your ads and also how your social media is. Like I stated earlier, whatever social media you want to use, ensure that it has valuable information. You have content, you have educational information, and you are the face of your page. Because could you imagine if you saw my ads and Jaden talked to you and then you joined the meeting and it's Latifa? Or you spoke with me, you saw my, oh my God, I want to, I think she sounds genuine. And then I booked the calendar and it's Jaden talking to you. That'll be quite confusing. So I'm the only one that does meeting for my hats. I run the hats, I respond in the inbox. My manager does not touch my inbox. He only posts for me. And I mean, my social media manager, he doesn't touch my inbox. I respond, I book the calendar, and I do all the consultation. And I also do all the onboarding. So most onboardings for me are on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's why even with my consultation, I stop it at 3 p.m. So whatever work I have to do after that 3 p.m. consultation, I can then do it for the rest of the day.
Sounds like you've got a good daily routine or weekly
Yes.
routine
Yes.
down.
Mhm.
I have so I guess the question, you're happy with the number of leads that you're generating? Are you happy with your income?
I am happy with my income, but we always want more. So
Okay.
yes. I'm happy with my income presently. I can afford whatever I want. I'm happy with where I am in life. Because the reason why I said I'm happy is a lot of people have to wake up in the morning, go to work that they don't like. I actually enjoy my business. I do not work for anybody. People work for me, and I can sleep it if I want. So that's a wonderful thing for me. I would say I'm independent when it comes to my life. So whatever time I choose to put in my business is my business. It's what I choose to do. So yes, I'm comfortable, but I want more money. So I would never stop
Okay.
running ads.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you're ahead or behind where you wanted to be by now?
That's a good question. So where I am now is where I've always wanted to be. I would say I put it to plan about 10 years ago, but I moved really fast, especially when I opened because at some point I had an S Corp. I didn't understand about the difference between S Corp and LLC. And 2023, I closed down my S Corp and I opened an LLC. There was no need. Because you learn every day. And the difference between S Corp, C Corp, partnership, LLC is based on your business and your needs, right? I realized I didn't need it. So I think I have accelerated a lot. And I think the reason is because I went to a business school and I didn't stop educating myself. I think I went to school a lot, more than I ought to. But I know more than someone that just woke up and wants to start a business. So that's what I have on my side. So I think I'm way more. I'm not where I want to
You're
be.
further,
Yes, but I'm
okay.
very, yeah, but I've moved a lot compared to my
Where
peers.
do you want to be? Okay. Where do
Hmm.
you want to be?
So what I want to be? That's a good one. I want to get more clients, of course, but be able to manage them. Because remember, with more people, there's more management, right? I'm just one person. I have two staffs, but once you have more, you might have to expand. But the thing with having staff is my staffs don't leave me, but what if they don't come to work? What if something happens? You have to put that into consideration on the back end. So where I want to be is to have more staff, eventually get a brick and mortar. I'm not sure if it's necessary because my staffs work remotely. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm considering it. Maybe next year I might get a brick and mortar, but it's to figure out a way to serve more people. That's where I want to be. Because when it comes to income, you might have $1 million every day and it would never be enough. It's contentment, if that makes sense. Do you have what you need? Are you providing values to people? My aim is to provide more values to people. Money is good, don't get me wrong. But in my own book, the more people you provide value to, that when they hear your name, they smile. Hey, thank you. That's what fits me. That's my vice. So the more people that I can provide value to, that is what will make me content.
Okay.
Yes.
But with serving more people, then you've got the staffing. You've
Yes.
only got so many hours a day. So scaling
Correct.
so you can serve more people. How do you've got kind of a balancing act there,
Yeah.
and you've
I'm gonna
had
have
some
to.
bad experience with hiring, right?
Yes, I'm gonna have to hire more eventually. Hiring is very important because I have to train my clients. I have to train my staff and ensure that they actually know what they're doing. That's very important for me, I would say. So that's where I'm having challenges. A lot of people wants to work, but they don't actually know what they claim to know, if that makes sense. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, people are not willing to learn. I'm where I am because I want to learn. So I'm that's where I'm having an hiccup, but I might have to work on it. Where I have to hire more people eventually and start training, and hopefully they love me enough to stay forever.
Do you enjoy the training part?
Yes, I actually do. I love training a lot. I really, really like to transfer my knowledge to people. I have few taxi preparers in my team that I had to train them. And most of them would say that I'm a very good trainer. I'm not trying to blush, but a lot of times they would tell me that I simplify things a lot. And sometimes I go in depth where other people are not willing to. Right.
Okay. Now, the final question. What
Mhm.
advice do you have for other self-employed consultants?
Make inquiries. This is what I mean by make inquiries is you're not going to know everything. Make research and try and know as much as you can so you don't look like a fool. This is what I mean by that. If you have a client in front of you and they're asking questions and you don't even know the answer, that is so disgraceful. So before you provide a service, make sure that you know your onions. If you don't know it, train more, find more resources so that you can provide values to people. And once you know your onions, people will find you. They would find you. Sometimes you might be invisible, but how you get found is when you provide service for one person, they would bring other people. Because I've soon realized that two people might stand. One person knows how to talk a lot, but they don't know anything. If you ask them the actual questions, the practical ones, they don't have an idea. The other person is silent, but they know so much. So figure out a way to balance between explaining what you know and providing the services. extraordinarily. That is my advice.
Okay. Good. And I had another question, and
Yes.
it has completely gone out of my mind.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, well, thank you so much for guesting on my podcast. I really appreciate
You're
hearing
welcome.
from you, and the advice that you have for other self-employed consultants is invaluable. So thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Thriving Through. I hope today's conversation has given you not just inspiration, but practical, actionable insights that you can apply to your own consulting journey. Remember, building a thriving consulting practice isn't about following someone else's blueprint perfectly. It's about finding your own path and staying true to your vision while learning from those who've walked similar roads. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your biggest takeaway on LinkedIn and tag me. Leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps other independent consultants find our community and join this conversation. And don't forget to hit subscribe to ensure you never miss an episode. Each week, we'll bring you more honest conversations and practical strategies to help you build a consulting business that works for you. Until next time, keep pushing forward, stay curious, and remember, you're not just surviving in consulting, you're thriving through it.